I'm spoiling the fuck out of this goddamn movie because if Iron Fist has taught me anything, if I yell loud enough about some stupid bullshit, if it at least stops one motherfucker from watching this fucking awful movie, I did my goddamn job.
The premise may sound like it's some basic shit, honestly. The X-Men is led by Mr. X trying to save some astronauts from space. These astronauts are stuck inside of, I guess, just some weird, like what do we call that? Like a cloud?
Yeah, there's some weird cloud of energy or some stupid bullshit, and nobody on Earth can help, so they call up. They literally use the bat phone, call up the X-Men. Hey, Xavier, can you risk the lives of a bunch of 20-something-year-olds to save a bunch of astronauts? Because fuck it, you're expendable. And
yeah.
Trust me, they make sure you fucking remember that. This weird energy mist goes and gets absorbed into Jean Grey, and it just supercharges her.
Not just being supercharged, but unfortunately, she cannot control these powers that are now accentuated because of her. And I will say, that premise alone is an okay premise.
I love how basically this is just Last Stand. Well, trying to be Last Stand over again.
Isn't that something that you would give a thumbs up to and say, you know what?
No!
Like, why is that, though? Because this is the same story. You have to kind of stick somewhat of that into this.
It's not. It tried to be her, but guess what? They failed. You will never be her. You fucked up.
Its premise, it doesn't do properly.
Even if it's not doing what you think it's supposed to do or because of what the source material says it's going to do, the thing is like, when you watch this, it fits. Like, when you get to the very end of the movie, like, they have a goal in mind. They kind of stick to that goal. Like, they do what you expect them to go, for this, at least for me. I think the intended audience for this movie is the people who enjoyed the last X-Men movies for, like, the last 6 years. And the thing is, like, those movies, I feel, are fucking just as bad as this one. Because, keep in mind, people, I'm not saying overall... Huh?
They made a movie for 10 people?
Like, no, nobody liked it.
No, when you say nobody likes
literally no one liked it.
You have to understand that not every single person feels the same way you fucking do. Like, I understand it's a shitty movie, I agree with you, but you can't say that no one liked it.
If you're gonna make a movie for 10 fucking people, you might as well just put this shit on YouTube.
I honestly agree. I feel like this shouldn't happen at the movie theater. But I will say that for an intended audience, and there is an audience out there, 100%. I feel like if you don't really have a lot to complain, about the last X-Men movies and the acting was fucking terrible in those last movies. I mean, they're god awful.
Mm-hmm.
And
no exception.
And the special effects for these movies were pretty fucking terrible too. But I think that if you're willing to deal with that, you can handle this fucking easy as shit. Like, this should not be an issue for you. This is not something that you should go and say, man, I can't believe how fucking bad that was, because you were cool with all the garbage you've been getting for the last 6 years.
I'll give you this, and people are saying that this is the worst X-Men movie. No, you clearly did not watch Apocalypse. This is not the worst X-Men movie. Is this a garbage-ass fucking movie?
Yes.
Yeah. And
okay,
that's perfect.
Origins is bad, but I don't have as much vitriol. Like, it's a bad movie, but I don't hate it as much as everyone else does.
For me, it's actually the worst. I feel it's actually the fucking worst.
Because
I didn't see Origins. I didn't see Apocalypse.
That's why.
So far, this is the worst. And going into this movie, not seeing the previous ones, I was already fucking annoyed.
Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about really quick is a character. I have to say I give this a thumbs up, but I don't see how it's bad. As everyone says, we get 5 minutes of origin story for Jean Grey. One that honestly I don't feel like was very, very necessary, to be honest. But at the same time, it's for people who are going to watch this, who I guess like, oh, I don't like Jean Grey from The Last Stand. Well, they're kind of trying to like redo some shit to like, okay, here's a new origin story, here's a new foundation to base this character off of, so you guys don't keep thinking about fucking Last Stand. Like, please stop thinking about one of the worst movies in people's heads. Instead of watching this, like, it's a new start, you know what I mean? So I thought that was cool. I liked the beginning for Jean Grey. But yeah, man, like, as far as, character on these other characters, man, like, I think that, most of these characters are in one place, and they do end up somewhere else. These characters feel a certain way. They have lots of, like, inbound arguing and like, visceral for each other, some of them. And then those things change because they realize, okay, this world's different now, and this situation's different now, and we need to fucking grow the fuck up. And I like that. I really like how at the very, very end, everyone's pretty much together. You know what I mean? Like a family more so.
None of these characters had a chance to fucking grow. The people we give a shit about the most, like Beast, Raven, Magneto, and Xavier, are the only ones that feel like real characters because we've had so many time. Like, the reason that the 4 characters I just mentioned have so much growth is because the first X-Men spent the entire fucking movie growing all those characters. The second X-Men movie introduced all these new people, which includes some of the people that are in this movie, but never grew them. And same thing with Apocalypse. Apocalypse introduces so many other characters, like it introduces Storm, but honestly, we don't know anything about Storm in any way, shape, or form outside she has cool powers. And so I got to give a thumbs down to everything because this has been a problem for the last 3 fucking movies. This has been a problem for every X-Men movie that's ever came out. I'm including Logan in this shit and Deadpool to a certain degree because they always put these fucking characters in with superpowers that have no personality. The dude with the dreads, what's his fucking name? I dare anyone that's
But he's
in the
a villain,
chat.
though.
Is he though? Because it's
Well,
just
yeah.
so fucking confusing because so many of the characters in this movie have one motivation and then randomly switch it up and it's like, well, I'm no longer feeling these emotions as it goes through the movie. So there's no consistency of the characters. There's no growth of the characters. Once you think that a character is going to go somewhere, the movie just on a dime just flips them. So I got to give this a thumbs down because either no one's consistent, no one has grown, and nobody learns anything by the end of this movie.
Really quick though, like, you don't think that the characters are placed in dire emotional situations, trying to decide whether or not it's worth taking down the Dark Phoenix? It's like,
Yeah, sometimes. And then they flip their switch and forget that even happens.
no, they do not. No, that's not true. Because even the Beast, and I will say, like, there's some bad
don't get me
dialogue.
started on Beast.
No, but yeah, but there's some dialogue in here that's really, really bad. But at the same time, though, this character, while fighting in a really big, like, pre-climactic situation, he's still mentioning, like, don't you fucking hurt her. Well, he doesn't say it like that. I wish he did say it like that.
Yeah.
Good God. The dialogue's really bad. We'll get into that.
It's really bad.
You were trying to defend that shit earlier, don't you?
No,
I'm
it
not
was
gonna
funny
let
as
you hear
fuck.
that shit.
It was funny
Well,
as
because
fuck.
the problem is with Beast's character is Beast, like, okay, when certain events happens and he's really, really pissed off at a character, you're like, man, that's great. You're really, like, fucking mad. And then he just forgets about it as being angry because the plot says I have to. It's like, fuck you.
Is there anything here that you can give a thumbs up to as far as character?
My heart right now is a straight up middle finger. I hated all these fucking characters. I despised every single fucking one. There is not one person in this fucking movie who I actually enjoyed. Not one. And then they
Fuck.
decided to have fucking goddamn... Ooh, the romances in this movie were so
Oh my
fucking
God.
bad. You guys just put the two blue characters together just because they're fucking blue. We all know about fucking Scott and fucking Jean Grey. That shit was mad boring. I'm tired of looking at fucking fish lips fucking goddamn Scott Summers and his boring ass falling over like a fish ass acting. And my fucking god, they still have not gotten Storm right. Why the fuck can they not get Storm right? She's one of the most powerful fucking X-Men out there. How the fuck do you guys still get her wrong every fucking goddamn movie?
It's okay, Jet. They got her accent right.
No, they didn't.
I know.
They can't even get her fucking skin tone right. They can't get anything right.
We get no development with any of these characters. Even in Apocalypse, when she was there and we introduced her to Storm, we get zero development except for the fact that, what, she's an orphan or some shit? That's all we really get.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but then we're gonna get into this thing, you know, because I guess it's still on the topic of emotion, of character. We're talking about the emotion of this all, and I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm trying to be like very, very careful of how I say this because I want to give it a thumbs up. I didn't give a fuck about this movie, right, at all. Like I don't give a shit about Marvel movies or Fox movies or whatever the fuck. But there is something here where that context of, I mean, there's even a death in the movie that's like very, very, I thought was very effective. And it rises the stakes. It's like, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do next. Any of these characters can die at any moment. And that's something I don't feel with Avengers Endgame. I was like, yep, anything that's happening here, no one's going to die till the fucking end. Like, I had to sit here for 3 hours to see something actually fucking happen because they're going to rest their morals on that shit. And here, I'm like, every minute, I'm like, oh shit, is this it? Is this when Magneto's going to get it? Is this when this character's going to get it? That was really fucking cool. I thought that was very effective, and emotionally, it got me kind of like tensed up every time there was a fight scene. And I don't know if you feel the same, Alan, but I'm gonna let you give me your opinion on that.
That's a very difficult statement to say because I almost want to agree with you, but the problem is the last third of this movie shits the bed so hard. So it's like, what do I say? Because like I kind of agree with you to a certain degree. I can't believe I'm saying this. Is Jean Grey, when she's doing her thing, it's actually good. It's actually really, really intense. And because the thing is, I don't think she's a bad actress, so it's really hard to fucking say. But when she's just emoting with her eyes, she is looking like you can see a lot in there. She's at least a good facial actress. So I'm gonna side with you, Nick. I will give a thumbs up on there because when it needs to, it does. It's not consistent about it, but it's able to do it more than zero.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you really quick too. Like, emotionally, were you affected by emotions throughout any of these characters or scenes or anything that happened in the movie, or even deaths?
Of who? Of who?
Well, there's a few people that die.
Who?
There's a few people that die.
Who am I supposed to feel?
You people?
Okay, well, no, not a few, but I mean,
It was like You mean a few couple people that I like? They spent no time like having you get to know, so you have no emotional attachment to them. So if they like die or basically they feel sad, they're just like, oh. And I'm just like, the fuck I care. I don't know you, bitch. I don't know you. These characters were written literally so bad that I wish more people actually fucking died.
Yeah, 100%.
As far as progression, dude, I don't think this even progresses past what the premise is. Like, I enjoyed the premise and enjoyed how the movie stays on point where it needs to stay on, but I can't say it was fun just sitting there meandering at the same story arc of Dark Phoenix, and, you know, I mean, it's just like they keep bringing up the same thing, and I get it. Like, oh, she's so powerful and she can't control her fucking powers and everything, but it's like, you keep meandering that point, and now I don't give a fuck anymore. I can't help but not give a fuck. But yeah, so for me, gotta get that thumbs down. Alan, how about you?
I can't believe to say this, but I'm gonna give this part a thumbs up because as much as the acting is terrible, I never felt myself looking at the clock. And I know that's almost me giving this god awful movie a compliment. But from the moment the movie starts to the moment it gets to the climax, there's at least something interesting going on, visually speaking. Not acting, because the acting is terrible and almost groaning in the fucking theater. At one point, I literally, and I know Kirk knows what the fuck I'm about to say. At one point in the movie, I go, "That's not how space works." There was always a place to go. You always knew where the character was gonna walk to. You always knew where the next second was gonna lead to. So it's like, oh, Jean Grey did some super shit. Well, she's gonna fly up. Where's she gonna fly up? Oh, she flew up here. Okay, cool. What's she gonna do here? Oh, something's going on. Okay, that means she's gonna go here and do this and do that. I'm like, okay, I'm getting, like, you're at least, this is like a really, it's like here's your fucking railroad track, and it's bumpy and shitty, and there's homeless people fucking over the face, but at least you can see the entrance. You can see the finish line.
I don't know, like, how they started went from A to B was a complete clusterfuck.
Okay. The tone, and this goes back to the situation with the intended audience. I think this is for the nerds who are fine with the current world of X-Men. It's very comic booky.
Who, 10 people again?
It makes sense why this movie probably doesn't build character as much as, like, let's just see them do crazy shit. And that's the reason why I think the fans are here just because of that. They're not here for the story. They're not here for some amazing acting. It's not for some hilarious comedy. If you're an X-Men fan who didn't quit around Wolverine Origins or Apocalypse, you're going to be okay with this. I really do feel that way. And Alan, I'm going to have you go really quick. Do you give this a thumbs up, thumbs down? How do you disagree with me?
I can't about to say this, but this is probably the only positive thing I'll ever say about the movie, because again, the dialogue is awful, and the last third makes me want to fucking like punch the writer in the face. But visually speaking, this movie is really, really well done. Like the way the powers work, the way the characters are able to use their abilities, the powerfulness you see in every single character. When Jean Grey's using her powers, it's cool. When Scott Summers is using his powers, it's cool. When Nightcrawler's teleporting, it's cool as shit.
And there we go, you and me together, just agreeing on something. Isn't that fun?
No.
Jet, Tone, what are you feeling?
No.
Man, really? So you didn't like the fucking scenes where the mutants are actually doing the shit that they should be doing this entire, like, I hate when I watch an X-Men movie or even Avengers movie, they don't do the things that they do in the comic books. Like, I'm not saying like storyline wise, because that's kind of ridiculous, but like, dude, finally I get to see Storm do some really cool shit with electricity. That was fucking cool. I know you didn't like the ice stuff in the beginning.
I'm pretty sure she did better in the previous movies when it came to the fucking electricity. The only people's powers in this movie, I honestly thought, okay, you're doing something decent here, was Nightcrawler and Magneto. That's it.
Oh, and the Nightcrawler scene, right now, I will say right here, that Nightcrawler scene in this movie was way better than X-Men 2 in the White House.
Oh, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I honestly, you seen this in here where he's going against other mutants as well as gunfire's going on, etc. In the White House scene, it's just like, boop, kick you, disappear, kick you again, boop, throw you over here.
Dude,
bam.
he goes through the entire White House in like a fucking almost damn near tracking shot as he's jumping from dude to get right to the president, and that's how the movie starts. No, like Nightcrawler was cool in this movie. I'm not gonna take that away, but it was not better than X2, because I don't like. Again, I have stated this, that I don't like most X-Men movies, and I'm gonna say this straight up: X2 is not as good as you think it is, but that scene is dope.
Yeah, and it is dope. No, I definitely agree. I'm gonna show it really quick, but as you can see over here, and it is a tracking shot. This is really cool cinematography, but it's like, look at boom, sweep, kick, boom, kick you, move. Boom, flip, he's gonna disappear
It's like a fucking horror movie. Like, this is what fucking Michael does when the camera's not on him. He's teleporting left and right. Dude, look at that cool shit.
No,
look how cool that fucking was.
No, it's awesome. I'm not saying that. This is cool, but it's like, imagine in the Dark Phoenix, this same thing happens, except it's on a moving train, and it's moving people from outside the train back into the train, not to mention going against other mutants instead of some douchebag fucking suits with guns. And then, like, the good guys and the bad guys are shooting at each other. Brrr, all this crazy shit, like, just fucking crazy. Just, fucking A.
I've seen
And
that in
Nightcrawler.
about 100 other movies, and basically that was in the middle of the movie, not the fucking end.
Well, it's almost better at the end because there's so much shit going on. You got Storm's fucking stuff going on. You got Nightcrawler shit going on. You got soldiers, bad guys, bad mutants, good mutants.
I
Magneto
want to see
with
a
his metal.
big battle in a big fucking space, not this fucking crowded ass fucking train.
But it makes it more tense because I don't have nowhere to hide. I'm stuck in this fucking train. Like it's a whole another layer of holy fuck. But now we finally get into something I think you might be positive about. The pacing I can't really. I will say the pacing I can't really approve and give a thumbs up to. It's not absolutely awful, like how you're probably gonna hear from Jed or somebody else or even Alan. But for me, the only issue with the pacing is that there's basically 3 moments in the movie that can't miss. If you're seeing this in a movie theater, you'll be pissed off that if you were holding your piss or wanting to get popcorn and you didn't go because you're like, I don't want to miss something. This is a movie where it's like you should have just went to go pee. You know what I mean?
Nobody, because they are all trying to get away from this bullshit.
Yeah, there's like maybe 10 people in my theater. I think that's all the people in Canada.
Yeah, it's the 10 people.
No, we found them. They're all in my theater.
It's not actually a thumbs up. It's basically just like my thumb's like sort of limping and whatever. Instead of getting a thumbs down, it's basically just kind of just hang in there, kind of at a, like a. It's just like. It never basically like you never just had to like wait there and like be like, okay, when's the next scene gonna happen? When's the next scene gonna happen? It did move on. I mean, even though like every scene they moved on to was fucking stupid as shit, it never basically just stayed in one fucking place.
This is god awful dialogue in this movie. Everyone here is terrible at acting. James McAvoy is hilariously bad as Mr. X. Magneto is so fucking dry, and as Magneto says in porn dialogue that you're trying to hear.
We all know who the worst in here was.
You can,
we
man, Jennifer.
all know.
I'm actually curious. No, I actually don't. Who would you say is the worst in here?
You really don't know.
I swear to God, I don't know. Jean Grey, but like, I don't.
Jennifer fucking Lawrence.
How the fuck? Why do you hate her so
Man,
much?
all the women here are saving the men so often. We should limit the ex-woman. That's my interpretation of that fucking scene, because the scene is badly acted dead.
Man, that scene made me so fucking
cringy.
angry. Like, bitch, you really tried it. You really tried it.
For me, James McAvoy is fucking terrible, man. Every single thing Professor X says is like fucking cringy. Like,
You're not wrong. Like, that's the thing. You're not wrong. We're basically separating piles of shit and says which one smells worse. But the thing about James McAvoy is I love James McAvoy so much that it's like, okay, oh no, fuck it, he's terrible too. I can't defend him. I'm trying to like, wait, maybe that I honestly can't think of a single line of dialogue in which I was like, oh man, I'm glad James McAvoy's doing it. Funny thing is, Magneto is great. Michael Fassbender's actually really good in this movie.
You say that, but then like even me with Magneto, it's like every single time he's talking, you can't hear what the fuck he's saying because he's like, oh, this and I gotta make this really cool. And then you got Beast, who by the way, he's just yelling at another character. And this is the thing, like, okay, this movie has blood and shit, so I was like, oh man, this is cool. It's like an adult film. Fuck yeah, right? And then his exact quote, I'm sorry to spoil this, but he goes, if you hurt her, I'm gonna friggin' kill you. I'm like, you motherfucker, really, friggin'?
I'm gonna friggin' hurt you right now.
I'm gonna
hecking kill you.
You son of a frig. You freaking fricks!
You friggin' frigger!
It's weird because they set Jessica Chastain's character up to be an interesting villain, but then you get to the climax and it's just a zombie movie.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Anything innovative about this movie whatsoever?
Where?
I don't know where. There's nothing in here that was innovative to me.
This is just fucking like they literally just tried to do Last Stand again, but did it way worse.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
But Alan, I'm gonna ask you, man.
No, I'm trying to even think of something because like maybe the way the powers, but movies don't understand how telekinesis works. Don't understand like the subtleties of making telekinesis an interesting power. They just want to make it like hand wavy and so much like energy around. It's like no, telekinesis is supposed to be an invisible fucking force. That's what makes it interesting and powerful because you can't see it, not because it's weird like cosmic bullshit. So it's like not really no, because we've seen cooler chain sequences. It's called Spider-Man 2. Like that's a cool train sequence. Okay, shut up, man, Justin. I'm gonna fucking fight you afterwards. That idea that it's not fucking real, that's not how it works. That's a fucking completely loaded argument for a different time. But no, there's nothing innovative about this movie. There's nothing that this movie does that 100 other movies haven't done before. The idea that someone's being corrupted by another force, we've seen that in 100 other fucking movies that do it way more interesting. There's nothing as far as powers, as far as progression, as far as characters. This just feels like a lame attempt at a movie we already saw. It is like take Spider-Man 1 from Sam Raimi and take Amazing Spider-Man from Sony. That's what these movies feel with Last Stand in this movie.